Hello YouTubers, welcome to my channel. Watch my TV furniture flip, the first one of its kind. I've had 75,000 views on my channel, so thank you very much. Hold tight. So, this is my first furniture TV flip. So I bought this for £10 from Amazon Fireplace Marketplace. Not quality oak, but it's okay. It's been in a garage. It's got a dodgy handle. So the backing's all there. It's all there. Just needs a good clean. I'm going to probably put another door on there, take that off, and adjust it slightly, and sand it, stain it, and paint it. So hold tight. So the start of the cleaning process. So I'm going to clean it off with a mild detergent, hoover it out, and then lightly sand it down and remove the doors. Now drying. So I've washed it off with a dish soap and water, warm water. Carefully, not using too much water. And then I'm drying it off, and then I'll start sanding. That's loose, just in there. Glue it and clamp it up. In glue and a brush. So I've glued the loose areas on the joints, and I'm using my 900 clamp to clamp it overnight to allow the glue to dry. So it's the next day, so we'll get these clamps removed. So I've sanded the whole unit now, and there's a few repairs I've had to do on the top which were damaged because they get a fair amount of use. I've used Ozmo oil on the top. I've used 2 coats. On the front and sides I'm going to use a lovely chalk paint, which will really set it off. And then I'm going to put the doors and drawers in and add these beautiful legs. I've done some painter's tape all round, and I'm painting in this little grooved out piece with black. I then plan to use a sanding sealer and a pre-stain conditioner on this, and use the amazing Ozmo top oil for that. I'm going to build some drawers and doors on the front and reinforce it and sort the shelves out. So it's going to be a lovely piece when it's finished. I'll probably want to keep it, to be fair. And I'm going to probably router out the edges just to make them look nice. So and it's going to get a paint in sort of like a light grey. So I might even add some legs, I'm not sure yet. I'll have a look. So I decided to remove the current legs. So I'm going to add some lovely metal legs I got on Amazon. So I'm just squaring it off now with my square to make sure I cut these off accurately. So I'm cutting off these and I'll put some metal legs on. So I'm just measuring it now for the track saw. Make sure it's all square. So I'm cutting the legs off with my track saw, and then I'm going to put these rather nice black legs on. Fantastic. So using my Makita 18 volt track saw, I love this. It's so much easier to cut straight lines, highly recommend it. And I'm just cutting the legs off now. I've marked them accurately with my tri-square to make sure I take them off equally. So I've nearly cut all the legs off now. I'm just gonna angle this so it's correct and cut that last bit off. Listen to that rain, wow. So I'm just securing the legs onto the unit now. So I got to this point, and once I put the legs on and visually looked at it, it didn't look right. So you'll see now, I'll remove them off, and I'll be putting some chocks in there, some 4x2s, and bringing the legs lower. So what are we doing today? Oh, I did the cut list. So here's all the things. I always keep all my bits for the gate in a little container, all stored nice and safely. So there's the cut list. This is the front dimensions. I've got the drawers, the shelves, the doors, and the heights and widths. And I'm doing a 2mm gap around. So what will happen here, I've used the old painter's tape. So this will be my drawers up to this height. They're going to be inset drawers. Okay, so I need to build a shelf there and a shelf there. It's a bit difficult because normally you build this from new and you don't do the pocket holes etc. as you build it, so I've got to reach in a little bit. We're using full inset cup hinges, and I've bought some nice new knobs, and I'm going to raise the legs up. So that'll look good. So I'm going to do all that today. Start putting that in. So holdy tighty. The legs as you can see, and I'm going to bring them out so they're this height so you can actually see them all. So I'm going to cut some timber to put there. That's the next job. So I've cut these blocks and I'm going to fit them. So that will show off the legs. Fantastic. So I'm just going to screw. I'm going to pre-drill, because this is 50mm. The base is 1868 if my maths is correct. So I'm going to just drill through, pre-drill, and put a 60mm screw through. Oh, these are lovely. I got a kit from Screwfix. That was about 40 quid. Did all the. I need to get some more actually. So too thick, too long. Actually, I've got more somewhere. I'll go and find them. So they're the hinges, the legs at the bottom. Look. So I'll do the top. I think they'll look better further out. So I'm just putting on the bits of 4x2 I cut on my table saw. So I'm just screwing and gluing the blocks on, and then screwing the legs onto the said blocks. And when I looked at it, it looked a lot better with them showing more at the bottom of the unit. I think it looks nice, looks a bit more modern, doesn't it? So yeah, very good. It could be further out, I suppose, but yeah, let me know in the comments. So here you can see me using my lovely track saw, my Makita, my track jigsaw, and my Hoover to cut the sheet material. So I'm now cutting the plywood. This is 18mm hardwood plywood, and I'm using that for the doors and the drawer fronts. I have got some birch plywood, but I'll see how this goes because this will be painted. So I normally only use birch when it's going to be stained and on show. With paint, you can sort of use a bit of filler and stuff, but I'll see how it looks because it's not that, the quality of this hardwood plywood is not as good. I mean, you're looking at £100 for birch, £110 for a sheet of 8x4 birch plywood, and hardwood plywood's about 40. So if you're painting it, I try and use hardwood plywood because 18mm it's very strong. I use Arnold Lava to get my birch plywood, and they're amazing. So highly recommend. They're a national company. I think I paid just over £100 for a sheet of 8x4 18mm birch. Oh no, 50mm birch plywood. So that's our drawer length. So I've now got to cut 428 off that side. I use this table saw, run it through for the fronts. So using my DeWalt table saw, still getting used to this beast, but it's amazing. Still scares me. Still know I could get kicked back on it, but it cuts beautifully, cuts lovely and square. I'm using a Hoover to take the dust out, but I've just bought a Cyclone. I'm going to build that up to create better dust extraction. So I'm cutting the drawer fronts and the cupboard fronts now on my table saw. This is my jig. Put it in, I've tested it on both sides, all good. These are only cheap hinges, but they'll do. And it works, they slide, lovely. So that is now my jig to make sure I can secure this in with pocket holes, and this with pocket holes. And then I can make the drawer fronts. Hello YouTubers. I know I look a bit silly, so I'm outside, so I've got my cold hat on, reading glasses, head torch. So I'm using the Craig R3 jig. We're going to be drilling into some 1800, please don't laugh at me, I am cool sometimes, 1800 plywood, alright? Quick lesson on the Craig R3 jig. I love these, link in the description below, Amazon. The closest we've got on there is 19. We set the slider to 19. Okay, you've got a 13.25. This is for the thickness, so 19. It slides up and down. Okay, that's for the clamp to go on. That's where the drill goes. These are amazing. Any DIY can use these, and they're great because you don't have to drill into end grain. Then you set the slider depth, which is in the kit, and if you can see that, we need it between, because this is sort of American, but they've used inches and converted to millimeters, so it doesn't always add up to our thicknesses of material, like 12mm ply, 18, so you get it as close as you can on there. So you slide this collar, you undo it there with the Allen key, slide it up and down. So I'll set that on 18mm. I know it's not written, but that's what you do. Okay, and then we're going to use coarse thread screws because we're going into 18mm ply. So that is, I bought a whole load of screws. I'll put a link below, and we need 32 coarse thread because we're going into a softwood. Okay, if it's hardwood we use fine thread, and then there's zinc coated for outside, but this is internal softwood. Okay, all clearly labelled so you can't forget. It's Egypt proof. So then I am going to make sure I put everything back neatly because I don't want to lose anything, and then I'll show you what I'm doing now. So this is the inside of the beautiful TV flip. I've got my, yeah. So inside, these are going to be for my drawer dividers. I'm using some cheap hinges, but it's only a TV unit, they'll hardly be used. So these will get pocket hole in, okay? So I'm pocket hole in there, and that will hold these. So I could use angle brackets, you could just drill, I might put a pocket hole there and there as well. So we need at least 2 there and 2 there, that's all we need. I'll put 1 there, that's what I'm going to do. So what I'll do, I'll mark it so I don't forget, so I know which way up it is going, because no one's going to see this, okay? I've drawn a line already here because I've used my template, which is the width of my drawers, and checked it works lovely and square and plumb both sides, okay? And then so there we go. So I'll draw that. I'm going to pocket all that. So we need do 1 there, 2 there. That'll be plenty. So I've set my collar depth. Okay, going into my drill. Remember what I taught you about my drill, my top tip? You do it up. When it reaches that point, instead of you holding the trigger and spinning around the yan, you just click it back and that is locked in. It'll never come out. People go, I used to do it for years, amazing. So we've clamped it, we've got it all set, and then gently drill in. So what I'll do now is I'll move this across because that would be too close, okay? So we now need to move this one over here. Make sure it's on correctly. Nice and straight, pull right up to the stopper, look, and clamp it down. And again. Always have it on the fast, that's on 2, I had it on 1, so that's why I wasn't doing it right. Okay? Okay, so there's your pocket hole. Nice, look at them, amazing. So we'll have 1 there. We'll grab our 3 screws and we'll place them, we'll put this in. Okay, so we've got 1 in there. Okay, they'll come through, and 1 down there. So we're in the cabinet now, I've lined it up with my pencil mark and I shall screw them in. And that, oh, and make sure you have the proper Craig bit, hang on. So this is the correct bit, alright, I think you can see that, I'll freeze it later. Then what I do this up with a screwdriver, pocket hole, so I can now put my drawer slider onto there. Now, the drawers are coming back, so they're inset drawers, so the drawer front, this is the cupboard. I'm trying to keep them here because I do this. This is the cupboard front, drawer front, come across, and we'll stop there and in there. So we want our hinge to go further back. So this is day 3. So my internal drawer measurements, take 4, 70mm height. The front is 403mm, sorry, 70mm for 403mm. The sides are 352mm by 70mm, because you allow for the 18mm ply depth. So we've got 2 at 352 and 2 at 403. So I've cut some already on the table saw, okay, and then I'm going to use the chop saw to cut the ends the correct length, because you should never use it on the tabley saw. So I'm going to do that now. Hello. So I'm just doing the drawer bottoms. I'm cutting them in 9mm, and I'm going to use some rebates around the side of the drawers. Look, I'm going to rebate it there, and then I will have the correct size, so that once I've cut that, that'll sit within the rebate, within the internal part of the drawer. So I'm going to cut that away. So 2 drawer bottoms cut. That's in loose, look. So rebated in. All fits underneath it, look. So there you go. So that will get sanded and glued, and then that will fit. Come here with me. Turn the radio off, and then that will fit in here. So my drawer front will be there. Okay, and then I've got the cheap hinges that we'll manage. I've got my partition which I've pocket screwed, you saw that earlier. So then this is going to be with inlay cup hinges, soft close. Now this will be painted. All this is going to be painted. I've got my little legs on it, right there. So they're looking good. So that's it for episode 1. In episode 2, you'll see me putting the door fronts on, painting the unit and finishing it off ready to sell. Please like, subscribe and comment. I've left Amazon affiliate links for all the materials and tools I used in the production of this video. It's in the description below.